Hey, my lovely goal-getters. Welcome to the Moms Making Money Show. I'm your host, Amie Pederson, business mentor and confidence coach for the emerging boss mom. It's my mission to help amazing women just like you up-level yourself and your business because you are meant for more than wiping boogers and folding laundry. I'm also a wife, mother, urban farmer, influencer, green juice enthusiast, and an unapologetic lover of cowboy boots. I can't wait to help you grow your business by sharing my tips, tricks, proven business strategy, experience, and incredible guests. Hang on tight and enjoy the show. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends and educational partners, HoneyBook. HoneyBook is an amazing service for creatives, visionaries, coaches, and business owners just like us. And the best part about HoneyBook, they're super easy to use, they're so super affordable, and they even come with a contract template specified to the type of industry that we're in that we're free to use and send to our clients. So basically what HoneyBook does is it helps automate the onboarding process. So I use this process for any one-on-one clients. I use this process for my mastermind clients. I use this process for events. This is something I use for everything other than like a self-study course. Anything that I want them to be able to have a payment plan for, and also to, if there's any kind of contractual agreement. So a lot of times you'll want somebody to sign a contract for your terms of use, your terms and conditions, and the terms of your agreement with one another. So this makes it super easy. So when you get somebody to sign up with you and they're like, heck yeah, I'm all in. Where do I sign up? Where do I start? You just get their email address, you enter in their custom program, or you can save a template if you have one that's always the same price, always the same contract. And you just basically fill in their information, fill in the price, create their custom payment plan if they are paying in full or if they're paying weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, like on specified dates, whatever that looks like for that particular client. You send it over once, and what it does is it sends them a proposal so they can see everything beautifully lined out. Then they can sign the contract and make their first payment. It's so simple. They can do it from their email box or from their phone in a matter of moments. And then everything is good to go. You're in compliance. You're all, ready to go with your contract, and everything is started right away. You can also set up follow-up emails. You can also set up what they call brochures, and you make beautiful introductions to your programs, to your courses, and to whatever it is that you have to offer. And these can be customized in so many different ways so that they are on brand with you. And the cool thing about HoneyBook is they have offered all of you guys 50% off for the entire first year. So this is one of the best bargains I think I've ever encountered. So to get this, you can actually start with a free trial, no credit card required, which I love. And but trust me, you'll love HoneyBook. So then if you're ready to get started, you just sign up. So if you want to get that 50% off, make sure you use our code. It's in the show notes, but it's share.honeybook.com/Amie, AMIE 935. So just click back over into the show notes if you want that, or it is share.honeybook.com/Amie 935, and that will secure your 50% off an already amazing low price for the entire first year of your subscription. I hope that you guys have a wonderful experience with HoneyBook. I know that I have. It's been a staple of my business, and it's been such a joy to use. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Moms Making Money Show. I'm your host, Amie Pederson, business mentor and confidence coach for the new and emerging female entrepreneur. I have my friend Kate Dorsey here with us today. She is an empowerment coach, and she has an amazing free gift for us. So stay till the end and make sure that you take advantage of that, because she's going to tell us all about it, and it is epic. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Kate. Tell us a little bit about what made you decide to be a female entrepreneur and a little bit about your path and your journey to get there.
Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Amie. And thank you to Amy's audience. It's a pleasure to join you guys. So originally, I actually started out as a therapist. I have always been very passionate about helping other people and helping them really get into a place that they want to be in so that they feel fulfilled in their lives. As I was doing that, though, I started to realize that I really wanted more freedom. And so I'm very, very driven by freedom. And what I mean by that is I really like to have control over my schedule. And I know that that's almost laughable because most of us don't have control over our schedules, but it's ultimately what drove me to becoming an entrepreneur. The other thing is that I made the transition into empowerment coaching because I don't know how many people have experienced this, but have you ever been working with a therapist and you just felt like time and time again, you were just kind of like going through the motions, you're going into the office, you're sitting in the chair or the couch, and you're not really getting results. And you're almost like, what is the point of this? And so that's ultimately why I made the leap into becoming an empowerment coach, because I am really into results. I love results. I like to see my clients experience the changes they ultimately want and desire. And I don't really want to be a part of something that doesn't feel like it's working anymore, a model that in some ways feels outdated, because when you pay to work with a coach, you're paying out of your own pocket. You're not showing up with just a copay. And so there's a shift that occurs there in terms of the clients that seem to reach out to you and want to work with you versus just kind of this like, oh, I forgot to show up for my appointment, which is a lot of what I was actually experiencing because I had my own private practice. It was successful and I definitely enjoyed working with all of my clients, but I really want results for the folks that I work with. And that is another facet of what led me to transitioning into becoming a coach. And then I found that like you don't actually need to go face to face. Of course, I love face to face, but really like you can hear and connect into what's happening for people over the phone, through Zoom, through Skype, just as easily as being literally across from the person. So that's really what kind of led me into becoming an empowerment coach.
I love that. And I think that you're so spot on with all of that. I sometimes refer to freedom as my new favorite F word.
Right? Oh my gosh. I love that. That's hysterical and like so true, right?
Right. And it's the thing that I think every single person who is an employee has to say about what they wish that they had more of. And probably the other one is probably money, but because they're not ultimately in control of their income either.
They're not. And like, it's funny because I can remember I got this dream job at College of Charleston and I loved it. And I still am grateful for that opportunity to work there. But I remember getting an email from our boss and it would happen every so often. And it would be like, remember, our start time is at 9 a.m. And Amie, I generally felt frustrated. I was like, who are you to control my time, to tell me when I need to be here? And it's like, yes, actually, they can do that. They're paying you. Yeah. So funny because I was like, wow, I want to be able to manage my own time to decide when and where I'll be places.
Absolutely. And sometimes, like, to be totally honest, you just don't want to be the places that someone else is telling you that you want to be.
Oh my gosh, right? So true.
They want you to be.
Yeah, you don't. When they're like, you have to go do this. It's very different when you're running your own business. That's not to say you won't make sacrifices. We all make sacrifices. We all have good days and we all have bad days. It's just the reality. And within the bad days, there's always a nugget. There's some pearl of wisdom. If we can unhook from the feelings, we can start to see. But ultimately, we want to run our own show, be the captain of our own ships, and really not be told what to do. That doesn't mean I won't have a meeting on the books or something that I have on the books that I'm like not as overjoyed about, but my attitude gets to shift because at the end of the day, I chose to put that on there.
Right.
So like I accidentally messed up my schedule because I was traveling back and forth between like the East Coast and the West Coast. And you know what? That 3-hour time difference makes a big difference. So I had something on my schedule earlier and I was like, you get to shift your attitude about this. It was a scheduling mistake, but this is your business. And like, this is awesome that you get to do this.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about what kind of obstacles you face, whether it was fear, self-doubt, outside chatter, or negativity, when you decided to take these steps and go from that job that you really enjoyed to transitioning into becoming a business owner and kind of taking that leap?
So absolutely fear. Fear, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, was the biggest one. Like, can I really, and doubt. So fear as in like, this is not going to work. What's going to happen here? I'm crazy. But then doubt really being like, can you pull this off? What are the results that you're going to get? What do you offer that people really want? You know, like, where do you connect there? And so I would definitely say it was a tremendous amount of fear and doubt. But ultimately, I believe that you're strongest when you connect to your vision and what you truly want, and that you decide no matter what to remain committed, because it's not easy. Like, there's always an ebb and flow. It's like feast and famine sometimes, you know, like where it's just, and not necessarily famine, but like sometimes it's not as busy as other times. And so you just have to be smart about it. Like, be conscious that there's always, when you're in the middle of a launch or you're in the middle of a sales cycle, it's a lot easier versus when you're not. You know, there's like a lot of income coming in, and how are you going to spread that out so that you're able to withstand and like the changes, the ebbs and flows.
Yeah, agree. And it's funny because sometimes like your energy or your mood can kind of ebb and flow as well. Like, I know myself, I just wasn't ready to be off vacation when I got home from Hawaii this weekend. And I was having a hard time showing up as my normal self, like in all the places, like on social media and everywhere else. I was just like, I kind of almost feel like maybe I'm in a funk or something. But I just was, you know, I just wanted to take more time and do a few other things before I like really got back into it. And the thing about, if that was my, you know, quote unquote job, I would have had to show back up at on Monday morning at, you know, 8, 9, whatever time the boss said I had to start. And I would have just had to like muster through it, instead of having that flexibility to make some shifts and give yourself some grace and, you know, take another day.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny that you say that, because there are a lot of us out there that really push, that we just keep going, when in fact we'd be better off laying down and taking like a 5 or 10 minute nap. And that's actually a strategy I've started to use more recently, where instead of continuing to keep going, and like, this is like for moms, if you're doing all of this and you're raising the kids, and I know they say, oh, nap time is the perfect time for you to like fold all the laundry. Oh my God. Okay. I just have to say this, like, if you're tired, go lay down. You are going to be a better mother, a better person, a better partner after your nap. You deserve a nap just as much as anybody else. And like, it's not keep going and push through. It's honor what you need. Give that to yourself. Fill yourself up. You're always going to have laundry. I feel like it's the gift that never stops. And like, then looking at what do you need to do to make things easier? I am a huge fan of outsourcing. What I mean by that is, I think that having cleaners is an amazing gift to give yourself. Like, I don't really want to scrub toilets. I would rather have somebody else do that.
Yeah. And it's funny because I do the same thing. And it's one of the things that I pay for. I pay for it out of my business. And I was so afraid for the longest time to tell people that I'd found a new house cleaner who offered to do my laundry. Because let's just face it, I don't like doing laundry.
Right. That's amazing. Because as a mom, you're constantly doing laundry. It's never ending.
Yeah. Between boogers and pee and barf and all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was afraid for the longest time to tell people. Well, first it started off, you know, I was afraid to tell people that that's what I actually desired. And then I was afraid to tell people that that's what I'd actually done, because I'd given myself permission to do it.
Right.
When I changed house cleaners. And it didn't cost me anything extra. It wasn't like I had, you know, increased my spending on it. It just happened to work out perfectly. And, but then I was like, oh, I'm not going to tell anybody, because then they're going to, you know, having been victim of mom shaming, you know, over the years, I was afraid, like, people are going to think that I'm like a lazy mom. People are going to think this, people are going to think that. And then I just finally realized, like, who cares? I'm not lazy. I'm freaking busy. Like, I work my buns off, and I would rather get my work done, serve my clients 110%, and then go be present doing something memorable with my kids 110% than scrubbing toilets or folding laundry.
That's how I think of it. Like you only get so much time with your kids in each age. Why not spend that time with them? Like, are they going to remember that mom had the cleanest house? Or are they going to remember that mom was there and present? And like, it's so funny that we judge ourselves on things. We judge ourselves, we hold ourselves back all the time. And even in small things, and it's like, why? Why do we do that? We're so hard on ourselves about things that really, in the grand scheme of things, make our lives easier. It's almost like, who am I to do this?
Right. And it's not to say that I still don't have laundry to do in between the times that she shows up here, because I mean, as much as I would love to have her here every day, that's not my reality.
Right. You don't have, right. I understand that.
I don't clean up messes and I don't, do dishes and fold laundry and wipe boogers still. I just have help doing it once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, to me, that's really comes down to what makes your life better. Yeah. If you're happier having an experience, if you're happier getting to do something, then that's beyond worth it. Like, it's just it's about, and life to me is about enjoying it.
Absolutely.
And there are times as a mom where you don't feel that way because you're covered in a child's diarrhea or vomit. But like the truth is, you love them and you love your life and you love what you've built. And that's the place to really live from.
I totally agree. And I kind of look at it like this too. So every other week, the cleaner comes for, 6 or 7 hours, say. I look at it like, how much work, income producing work, can I get done in that 6 or 7 hours? And then I kind of like flip that around. I could be scrubbing the toilets and folding the laundry for that 6 or 7 hours, or I could be working, producing an income. And for me, the income far outweighs what I'm, the output of what I'm paying her.
Of course. Yeah. No, like, yeah, it definitely does. You're going to make more doing that. And even if you're like not at that point or you feel like it's a luxury, sometimes there's something about putting something out there and taking that cost on that incentivizes you. Like where you're like, I'm going to work harder because this means more to me. Having this is so important to me that it's just a given that I'll make the money for that.
Yes. And a lot of times people feel like it's almost like a reward for them. Like, you know what, I've worked super hard. I hit this financial or income milestone in my business. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to have somebody come, maybe it's once a month, and just give me a hand.
Yeah. Because even once a month with a deep clean is so much easier to navigate.
Agree. I fully agree.
Yeah. And it's just like, these might sound, I know that a lot of folks probably think that this sounds like luxury, but it's really not. To me, it's more about enjoyment and where do I want to spend my time? What's worth more of my time? Would I rather be sitting down and eating dinner with my kids or running out the door ragged because I decided to clean toilets? I think I'll go ahead and sit down and have dinner.
Right. Well, and not only that, but when we treat our businesses like an actual business instead of
Yeah, they're not a hobby, they're a business.
Yeah. But when you go to an office job, chances are most of the time your job is not being the cleaner of the office. Like, yeah, you clean up after yourself. You might, like my office always had a dishwasher. You'd stick a couple dishes in there and press go. You'd clean out the coffee pot, take your dishes home, like that kind of stuff. But I can honestly say that in the 20 years that I spent working, even my very first job working in a dress shop, I never cleaned the toilets there.
No, I didn't either, except when I waited tables. That was definitely part of it.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago. So yeah, it's funny how like we can think of things as a hobby and they're not a hobby, and it's possible to be a mom, but also have a lot of other things that you want to do. We're all more than just one role.
Yes.
Like you're not just a businesswoman, you're a businesswoman, you're a mom, you're a partner, and you're you. Like fundamentally at the core, you're you, and you're creating this experience in this life. And is it filling your heart with love and joy? Or are there some things that are on your plate that if they were taken off would allow you to function at a higher level, to feel better? And isn't that worth it? I don't think you can put a price tag on feeling good.
No. And it doesn't have to cost a lot either. We always talk about self-care and putting yourself first. And one of the things that I hear so often, and you probably do too, is I can't afford self-care. I can't afford to go get a high-end spa manicure. I can't afford $150 for that, or, a massage every week or whatever. But I think that people are missing the point that that's not necessarily what it means to take care of yourself. It doesn't have to be a high-end fancy massage. It doesn't have to be a pedicure every week. It could be something as simple and as free as a walk or just getting outside.
Yeah. It's so funny that you said that, because I literally was just thinking of a walk, because there are a lot of things that you can do that are not about spending money. Like when I think of self-care, I automatically think of like meditation, journaling, going for a walk, being out in nature. I don't think of, let me get my nails done. Not to say that that's not self-care, it is, but I don't necessarily go to the ones that are about spending money, because to me, self-care is really about filling up your love tank. So what I mean by that is, like, we can give to others all the time. We can give to others so much that we're drained and there's nothing left to give. And it's really hard to show up fully in your business, in your relationship, in your role as a mother when you are living that way. And instead, you can really think of like self-care is an expression of the love that you feel for yourself. It's about valuing yourself and your time and doing things that make you feel good.
Yes. And doing those things because you love and care about yourself, and not because you're trying to punish or torture yourself, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is not like, to me, even exercise. I flashed to exercise. I know like some people dislike exercise. To me, it's an investment in your body. It's a way of taking care of yourself so that long-term you'll have mobility. You'll have greater bone structure, and physically you'll feel good, So I think of it that way. And I'm not necessarily suggesting that people start doing things like HIIT or anything like that, or like kickboxing. I believe in exercise being an expression of what you love and enjoy doing. So whatever that is, whatever doesn't feel like exercise most of the time, that's the thing to do. So
yeah, it could be dancing or just walking.
Exactly. So like my mom loves Zumba. You would never catch me dead in a Zumba class. Sadly, I have no rhythm. I have my own set of rhythm. But I love bar classes, and those I'll go to. And so it doesn't really matter. The point is just to move your body, because you're literally investing in yourself every single day and how you feel. So we get to do that with self-love in general. I think exercise is a form of self-love. Right. And it doesn't necessarily matter what you choose to do. It's just, did you fill your cup up today? Did you do something for yourself today? Because as a mom, it's really easy to get put at the bottom of the list. You took care of everyone else except for yourself. And for some folks, that's considered like the way being a mom is supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something as simple as taking the time to wash your face and put on moisturizer before you go to bed. Because, I mean, how many of us skip that sometimes? I'm guilty.
Right, totally. Yeah, and like that's a perfect example. It can be anything. I even just thought of brushing your teeth.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's the honest truth. So let's talk a little bit about your business and what it means to like work with you and Thrive Coaching.
So my business is really around creating clarity initially. So what I mean by that is there are folks that are good, like life isn't bad. Life's pretty good, but there's some areas that they're not loving. So it's really like, I feel really good in my relationship, and yet I'm not so sure that I want to keep being a stay-at-home mom. Or I feel really good in my relationship, but I'm kind of feeling a little off purpose. And so it's really a lot about like diving into gaining clarity. So clarity is always the first step. You can't create change without clarity. And a lot of folks get really confused by that, but ultimately, here's the best starting point. If you know what you don't want, you've already got a clue. So we can work together and build off that. And then it's developing confidence and courage to really step into the vision and the dreams that you have. A lot of the folks I work with have been holding themselves back they haven't been living or playing full out, they feel stuck. They feel like, is this as good as it gets?
Yeah.
I want more. And they're not depressed. I really want to be very clear about that. They don't belong in like therapy. Sometimes they've been in therapy and they feel like therapy isn't working for them because they're not depressed. They're not suffering from anxiety. They just aren't completely fulfilled, but they're not sure how to be fulfilled. And so that's really where I work with folks. I really help them understand I really help tap them into what they truly desire, to have them unhook from all the belief systems that are holding them back, to step into what they really want to experience in life, to believe in themselves, and then to go for it. And I also help them create a solid plan because I believe in results.
Yes, I absolutely love that. It's all of that is so important, especially, and this might be controversial for some people, but I don't care. I'm going to totally say it. Sometimes women, moms, whether they're working at home, staying at home, and, working on the home, or they're working outside of the home, they want something more. There's something in them. There's like a desire, like this little twinge of something that's pulling them in a certain direction. And there's somebody maybe from the outside, or maybe it's some sort of guilt within that tells them, no, you shouldn't be wanting this. You shouldn't be feeling that way, and stop being so selfish. And for me, I say, hell no, that's complete BS, because you are allowed to want more. You're allowed to be more, and you're allowed to do more. So I love that that's what you fully promote.
Yeah, because we are, like, what I really feel like you're speaking into is those of us that are called for more. There's nothing wrong with our lives. We like them, It feels good to be a mom, to have a great relationship, but there's something inside of you that's calling out for more.
Yeah.
And what would it be like to explore that side, to push aside the doubt, the anxieties, the worries, oh my gosh, what does this mean? Because I have to be honest, like, you can put that part of you to sleep, but it's just going to keep popping up.
Yep.
You'll be doing the dishes and you'll think, is this it?
Yep. I always say putting it on the shelf, and then every time you dust it, you see it again.
Yeah. And it's like staring at you. And it's like, at what point are you going to pull that off the shelf and open that book and say, what do I really want? And my favorite thing to start with for folks, because I've been doing this a lot, when you feel like you're called for more, but you're so unclear, it's really awesome to start with where you are. So what I mean by that is really looking at, what don't I want? So if you are single and you're carrying the entire household and you're suddenly like, I don't want that. Okay, well, so now we know you want to be in a relationship. You want something more, or you might be ready to date. And so that's what I mean by, like, start with because like so many times people come to me and they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, hold on, we're going to fix that, because you do know. You just have been ignoring it for so long that you've covered it up. And that one of the fastest ways is literally to start with, well, where am I now? Because it's not enough.
Right. And it's not wrong to want those extra things. Well, I know that you also have a free gift for the listeners today. Do you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yes. So I believe very firmly that how you start off each and every day makes a huge difference in your emotional well-being and in how you show up across the board, like to interact with everybody. So one of my favorite things to do is to have a really solid morning routine. This isn't one where it's going to take a lot. I believe small tweaks can make a huge difference. I've worked with moms in the past where we've made little small tweaks that have really been tremendous. And I'll share an example of that in just a moment. But ultimately, I have a morning routine guide to really help your clients start their day off on the right foot so that they feel gratitude and love and appreciation. And I give very short examples in that guide so that it's actually feasible, because I get it. When we are up really early, even carving out like 10 minutes feels huge. So a tweak I made with a woman that I used to work with was her little girls would crawl into bed with her, and she didn't want to miss that as a mom, but she got them to be really quiet, and she would just feel her heart beating and feel their touch in her arms, and she would just center and ground into that for just a few moments, and it made a tremendous difference in how she navigated the day emotionally, because before they were like jumping on her, waking her up, pulling her out of sleep, and she was just like, oh my goodness. And so this guide really walks you through some very small tweaks that you can make to really start your day off on a really fantastic foot.
Oh, perfect. It's not a guide that says you have to get up at 4:30 or 5:30 in the morning. It's just one that you can implement into your daily life, your normal
easily, time. Because even like just a moment of holding your cup of coffee, smelling it in, and really appreciating it is a way to start grounding yourself into gratitude, into really enjoying and loving the day. And that's an easy one. So you're not like, I think that there's a lot of stuff out there with morning routines where it's like 8 hours later, you're finally ready to start your day. But that's not feasible for people. People can't pull that off. And I think it's more important that people be able to pull it off and to get the gist behind it, the experience behind it, and be successful with it, than to have something overly complicated. Because it's really about tapping into gratitude.
Right. And if it's too hard to do, and if it's overly complicated, it's hard to make that become your habit.
Yeah, nobody will do that. I believe in setting people up for success. That feels better.
Yes. Awesome. Well, before we wrap up here, I will make sure that I get that link in the show notes, so everybody who's listening can just pop on over and click the link and get access to that morning routine. But can you tell us where everybody can find you? What's the best place to find you, follow you, send you some love, and give you some likes?
Sure. I can be found at www.thrivecoachinginc.com. I'm on Facebook at Thrive Coaching and Kate Dorsey, and I'm on Insta at Thrive_coaching_INC. So I'm in most places. Awesome. And Facebook is probably the best to really connect with me because I'm very responsive there. So
Perfect. Well, everybody, please make sure that you do hop over, follow Kate, show her some love. She's got excellent content out there, and be sure that you take full advantage of this amazing gift, and let her know how it's helping you shift and get everything else in the rest of your day on track. Thank you so much, Kate, for joining us today. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's been so awesome getting to connect with you and with your audience. So much love to everyone.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.